Hello everyone, welcome back to another video here on Cluiche with me, Seamus, Brady and Dublin are All-Ireland champions for 2023. We are back on top of the mountain. It is such a good feeling. I was there in Croke Park. I was in the lower Hogan stand and it was just a fantastic spectacle. Such a gripping game of Gaelic football between the El Clasico pairing in our game, and it finished Dublin 115, Kerry 113 at Croke Park. I'm just going to, basically shoot whatever thoughts they have into this video. And then, of course, an in-depth one will come when we do the full weekend breakdown. But this is just my first thoughts, my first reactions to what was such a gripping encounter between these two teams. And just in general, Dublin, that's another All-Ireland title. 9 All-Ireland titles for James McCarthy, 9 All-Ireland titles for Stephen Cluxton, 9 All-Ireland titles for Michael Fitzsimons. Just immortal. There will never be another team like these lads, in my opinion. And it's another thing as well, that to win 6 in a row, that's amazing. But then to come back after you've been beaten and you've lost 2 years in the bounce and people are saying that you're done and people are saying that you're finished, and to come back and to win after all that just shows the mettle that these lads have. And I'm absolutely honoured to have witnessed this period of Dublin GAA. It's just an absolute pleasure to be a Dublin fan right now. The game started extremely cagey. Like, the game was very cagey. You could tell both teams were really nervous at the beginning of the game and very keen to not make mistakes. It was very much tit for tat. Sean O'Shea was very much leading the way for Kerry at the start of the game. He was their best player in the first half. Dublin kind of put a bit of rhythm now together. They went 2 points clear, and then Paul Gainey struck for that goal just before half-time. And it really felt like a very, very decisive blow that Kerry had just landed on Dublin. And being in the stadium, I was there at half-time thinking, like, half-time came at the right time for Dublin. Second half, Dublin rang the changes. Jack McCaffrey came in. Niall Scully came in. I thought every time Jack McCaffrey got the ball, Kerry were fouling him. They weren't wanting to let him run at the Kerry defence, rightfully so. Like, you don't want to let Jack McCaffrey run at you. I thought James McCarthy as well was lucky to get a yellow card for his incident. There were incidents, and David Goff had a very tough game to referee. And I don't think he had a particularly bad game from being in the stadium. I don't think any referee in that situation gets a 10 out of 10. I think it's an impossible job to get 100% right and to get everybody appreciating you. But he did make some mistakes. Everybody made a few mistakes that day. I don't know if you can tell, my voice is absolutely shot to bits, particularly in the second half. Paddy Small's goal is what I thank for that. Dublin got a goal out of nowhere. All of a sudden, we were level. 1-8 to 1-8 that was. And that was halfway through the second half. And then Dublin didn't kick on from that. Kerry got the next 2 points, went 2 points in front again, and they were consistently 2 or 3 points up. Dublin just hung in the game. Key scores from Paul Mannion, who hit 5 points. Colin Basquel as well popped up with a few crucial ones. Dublin just stayed there, not going away, no matter what happens, weren't going away. And eventually we leveled the game up. And then as it came towards the close, Dublin's big game experience and their just mentality of finding a way to win, like Dublin have done 2016 against Mayo, 2017 against Mayo, 2018 against Tyrone, 2019 against Kerry, finding a way to win when the chips are down. And that's what they did once again in this game. When the chips were down, Dublin found a way to win. Dean Rock had a shot brilliantly kept out by Shane Ryan. Then it fell back to Dublin, and we got a score from it to go 1 point in front. Paul Mannion fired it over. Could have been a goal, but it went over the bar. And then with about 30, 40 seconds left, Dublin won a free kick inside the Kerry half. We knew Dean Rock was going to score it, and that was that. Dublin All-Ireland football champions again for 2023. The other thing that has to be said, Michael Fitzsimons. What a game from Michael Fitzsimons. Like, you're talking about a guy who's been in the Dublin team since 2010 and has been just an ever-present mainstay. And the type of cornerback, he's a quieter guy. He doesn't get the credit that he deserves, but Michael Fitzsimons was absolutely fantastic in this game. He literally did as good a job on David Clifford as I've seen. And on top of that, Clifford didn't have his best game, which didn't help him. He missed a lot of chances coming towards the end. but some appreciation for Michael Fitzsimons. 9 All-Ireland medals, one of Dublin's greatest ever players, and certainly one of the most underrated players that I've seen. He's absolutely brilliant. Did a fantastic job today for the Dubs. Now, on top of that, Clifford's misses do have to be talked about. He missed some big chances, especially coming towards the end of the game, that could have actually levelled it up for Kerry. So Kerry will feel that they've left this one behind them in some regards. Killian Spillane came in off the bench, landed a score, but I thought other than that, their bench, they didn't really have that much that they could potentially throw at Dublin. So that was one of the key things. Now, on top of that, it's an unbelievable occasion to be there in the Hogan stand, looking around at this, because you don't know what's going to happen. Like, Desi Farrell could step away. Stephen Cluxon might well step away. James McCarthy might well step away. Mick Fitzsimons might well step away. So I'm being honest, I was just there today, looking around, soak it up. As Aaron said on his Match Reaction on Gaelic Games Fan TV, do check that out if you haven't as well. Just soak it up. I don't think we'll see a team that will achieve this many All-Irelands again in our time. So it's an incredible achievement for Dublin. And yeah, I'm absolutely privileged to have been there. But here is the recap. If you've joined us late here on the channel, the All-Ireland Football Final of 2023. Dublin are All-Ireland champions once again. They are back on top of the mountain. They beat Kerry by 115 to 113 in Croke Park. An absolutely gripping encounter. The first half was very much a tight affair, both sides trying to work each other out. Paul Ganey's goal before halftime looked to be a decisive blow in the favour of Kerry. In the second half, Paddy Small's goal supercharged Dublin. Kerry looked like they rebounded well from it. They hit the next 2 scores, but Dublin stayed in there. Paul Mannion was superb. 5 points for him, 4 from play. Colin Pascal popped up with crucial scores. And then Mannion equalised in the last couple of minutes. And then Mannion put Dublin ahead, and then in the last minute of the game, Dublin won a free, and Dean Rock fired it over the bar to put Dublin 2 points clear, and we all knew that they had won the All-Ireland at that stage. I was there in the Lower Hogan, an absolute privilege to be there. Dublin, All-Ireland champions once again for 2023. Guys, that is my reaction. That is my immediate thoughts on having been there in Croke Park to witness Dublin win their 31st All-Ireland title. I was absolutely privileged to be there. Congratulations to the lads. Thanks so much for all the memories, and I look forward to seeing what comes next in the future. That's the video, guys, here on Cluiche. Keep an eye out for all the other content across the channel from the weekend's action. I'm going to go give my voice a rest. And until the next time, guys, here on the channel, take care.